We've got this Williams Tri-Zone that we're going to be taking apart this Playfield, getting it cleaned up. This is a literal barn find. Who knows how long it's been sitting. This is a solid state game. I believe 1979. I've got the back glass and everything for it, but I got this open. Put a new Rotten Dog board in there. Obviously everything's not quite done, but I just figured I'd show you guys the disassembly and cleaning of another Playfield, because we all love to see that. These are really not that much different as far as the cleanup procedure goes, and compared to an EM. I know we mostly show EM stuff on this channel, but hey, other stuff is always good too. But I gave it a quick vacuum, obviously real quick, because as soon as I picked the Playfield up, I have no idea how long it's been sitting. But you got some mouse turds, you got rust, crap that's come up. Got another video of the lockdown bar being completely rusted. Went ahead and got that off of there, showed you how to break that free. We let it soak in the come on, I'm having a brain fart. The cleaner, it'll come to me as soon as I stop this video. But let that soak. I'll have a video on that set up for you, but it's not in awful shape. It has some rust. The rubbers on it are pretty crusty. I do have a new drop target coil. Is that the plunder's all rusted and the coil was burned up. The spinner's seen better days. Still have some spider webs in here. See these little cracks here? They're pretty superficial to a point. This is called planking. If you've ever seen an ad or read up on anything, that's where basically because the heat and the cold and everything else, the expansion and contraction, it's little tiny cracks inside the paint. Can barely feel them with my thumbnail, but we're gonna try and get that cleaned up the best we can. We're not doing any paint or touch up. This belongs to a friend of mine that just trying to get it up and running. He does those little auctions and stuff on the side, so we've always grown up with pinball machines, so he found this one and got his mindset that he wants to fix it up and keep it. Not perfect, but just to at least be able to play it, have some fun. So just kind of show you the before. This is, I mean, it's filthy, it's dirty for sure. Got some wear because the inserts are kind of cupped. That's what happens when these inserts get cupped, like a little saucer. The ball actually hits it and it scrapes. Every time, this is all high power, the ball coming off of here comes and scrapes that off. And I mean, it's still to the point it can be touched up, but if you're not going to level out the inserts, why bother? Like I said, he's not looking for it to be perfect, he just wants it to be playable. But look at the mold and mildew built up on these rubbers. It smells like cats, and I don't own any cats. But recap the boards. There's your power supply, your soundboard. This is basically where the big blank spot is. That was another board, but Rotten Dog makes these replacements. This is a Williams System 6, and they make a replacement that integrates the MPU and the drivers all in one. So I've never used their products. I heard good things about them, so why not give it a try? But let me set the tripod up. And unless I come across something, I'll give you guys some music. Maybe speed this thing along, but show you the basic disassembly and rubber replacement. And then we'll get it all cleaned up. Alright, let's get going. What we're going to do is take everything off of here so we can clean it. And what we're going to do first, I'm going to run a vacuum, clean up all this rust and mouse shit, these spider webs. But this isn't difficult, especially this. This is a nice, easy, there's no ramps, there's no shit stacked on top of each other. This should be fairly straightforward. Take a good look. You guys, if you don't know how to do it, you're not sure how things were, you got a bad memory like I do, take as many pictures as you can. And just like I'm doing right now, take a video. Because there's always that one shot that you didn't get. You know that. So, all we have for this is a nut driver, screwdriver. If there's contacts that we can get to use the end of the slingshots here, we'll clean those. I'll show you all that. You'll see it all in the video. I'll make notes. And not a whole lot to it. I'm noticing these plastic cap nuts, basically. These are just white plastic on these. If you wanted, you can replace them with the chrome ones. Give it a little sparkle, but I don't necessarily think you need to. These plastics are pretty dull. But I'll shut up. Let's get to it. Yeah! Alright, that was easy. Getting the rubbers off. Couple notes. I was pointing at these little studs here. The little tiny rebound rubber slips over that. Sometimes a little spit goes a long way when you're putting the new ones on. That guy and that guy. But notice I just put them in a pile. I'm going to tell you right now, I did see a post on one of the groups or the sites that somebody ordered a ring set. These are the rings, the rubber rings, for their game, and they were upset because they were all circles, and they were looking for one that was shaped like this. This is exactly why you're replacing those rubbers. Not that they're dumb, but you don't know. That's why you're here. You're watching this because either you are boring like me and like watching this type of stuff and bringing old stuff to life, or you're trying to learn. So I'm not knocking you for not knowing, but these are kind of nice though when it's like this because it helps you remember where stuff went. The new ones aren't going to be like that. So look at this one's, feels like it's ready to shatter. But there's one of your slingshot rubbers. But I keep all these, I keep them in a pile. Because sometimes when you order a ring set, sometimes you end up missing some. Or they're a little bit different sizes. You know, they get packed, you know, by people that sometimes they're going off a chart, they don't have what's in front of them. Sometimes the chart is wrong, sometimes they make mistakes. A lot of these look the same, get tossed in the same bin, and they throw them all in a bag and they seal it. But it's always nice to have something for reference. You know, they're just trying to keep this stuff going. So, with that said, what else? These are the posts. They're all different heights, lengths. They use different things to hold them down. Notice the studs versus the screws. Notice these are Phillips screws. If you've seen any of my other videos, I can tell just looking at it it's not a Gottlieb, because Gottlieb didn't use Phillips head screws. Old Dave, he liked the slot heads. But just a little fun fact. This is your slingshot. This is the part that actually pops you in the finger if you touch that rubber. One of these contacts makes connection and fires the coil, the solenoid underneath. Boom. Same deal here. If you've never seen one of these up close, this rubber ring around here is supposed to wobble free. This is the switch. Ball hits it. It's at an angle like this, and then underneath that fires the coil to go boom. That's your noisemakers. And it pinches the ball. See this angle here between these two angles? Like when you hold an ice cube like this and shoot it out from between your fingers. Same deal. Now if you get one that's holding in and not releasing, shut the game off. You're going to burn out that coil. I was mentioning the posts because you want to take note of all the screw lengths. There's multiple lengths and different types. Nothing's more annoying than trying to put a plastic back on and you realize that you have a stud in the wrong place and it's carving up the bottom side of your plastic as you're trying to fit the thing on. So either take lots of pictures or make some kind of notes as to where they go. If you're not sure, if you have any of these that are cracked, it can be replaced. They're really cheap. This one, I mean, normally I would take them off and clean them, but you know what? Just because I happen to be making a video on this, and this isn't a game that I'd normally make a video on, but just for all intents and purposes, I'll do that. I'll take them off so I can clean the posts up. I do normally take them off, but this one I was just trying to get through for a cleanup video and trying to zip through this. But you know what? I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to take them all out, and I'm going to run these. I've got an ultrasonic cleaner. Just going to give them a quick bath. I'll make note of all the screws. Maybe when I'm putting it back together, you guys can point out my mistakes. Alright, that'll be my next step. I don't need to film that. You'll just notice that in the next video they're not here. So, and now is the time when you go and change all the light bulbs too. I don't care if they're bad or not, just change them. Why do you want to give somebody a game back and then all of a sudden they're calling you saying light bulbs are out? Not saying it can't happen with a new one, but it's less likely. So, alright, now you see them. Now they're gone. Okay, took up all the posts. They're over in the ultrasonic cleaner right now. I left all the screws with them. Clean up the heads of the screws because these are all corroded and rusty. At least put a little bit of a shining on them. But I wanted to show you something. This is Playfield. Look at the underneath here. Usually what happens is over time, especially if something's been sitting in the sun, in a barn, the lighter colors tend to get faded. So it's like a peach color under here. I don't know if that's supposed to be that way or not. Let's see. Under those screws, at least where the white is. Here's a good example. But like that Cyndi Lauper song, I See Your True Colors. That's because sometimes it's been, in this case, over 40 years just covered up with plastic and everything else. These colors used to be vibrant at one time. Check out these just plain red drop targets. No idea if they're original or not, but see how dull this is? We're going to try and clean it up. I pushed these targets back up just to show you because I saw something. That one needs work because the plunger's rusted. Oh, check this out. We took those off. Basically ran these posts through the ultrasonic cleaner. Still going to take a wire wheel to these screws. I've got a tumbler, but right now I'm running walnut shell. And the problem is with the walnut shell is 95% of the time I have to pick out a little pick a little piece of walnut shell out of every screw. That's more time consuming. We're just going to run a quick wire wheel over them. But I want to get some up close, see what kind of dirt this camera will show. I'm looking in the viewfinder of my camera, and it doesn't nearly show as much as what I see on the Playfield. But if you can see these, look at these. Two little, looks like hair, looks like pubes. All over the Playfield. Those are actually ball swirls. The ball is spinning the whole time it's flying around the Playfield. But we're going to try and scrub out some of those. Some of it will still be there. But look at the difference. So right here you got some mylar rings that are stuck down to the playfield itself. I'm not going to touch those. Actually, crap. Actually, look at this one. This one's coming up. This one we're gonna replace because I don't like that. So now we get this set up. We'll set it up for cleaning.